I'm sorry to break it to you. Just having a bachelor's degree is nothing. Hello everyone, my name is Steven and I'd just like to share my journey with you. I'm currently a real estate agent, and one of the things that I've learned over time is that in order to be a successful home buyer, we have to come prepared. Or one of the ways that people have used to prepare for this big step of their lives is by saving a significant amount of down payment. Number one is, if you can live with your parents, try to do that. I understand that it's very hard to live with your parents, especially when you're at an age where you should be moving out, but now you're forced to stay with your parents because you want to save. But I'm going to share with you why this is very important. You see, when you're staying with your parents, this doesn't mean that you're not going to help them or you're not going to pay anything at all. The goal is to actually help your parents while you stay with them. Let them appreciate the fact that you're with them, so contribute to whatever expenses they have. But the goal is to make sure that you're saving majority of your money towards your down payment. That is very key, because if you end up spending way too much and you have no down payment for your house, you end up living with your parents for a long time, and this could be very difficult for you, or this could make it even more difficult for you to move out. Secondly, you can also choose to have a roommate. The purpose of a roommate is obviously to share the burden of the expenses on the house. So for example, if you have a 2-bedroom, you can rent out one of the rooms to someone else, split the bills, and lower your rent, lower your expenses, your water bill, and other utilities that you may have. By doing this, you can save almost half of your expenses that you would have incurred by living by yourself in the place. You would have saved that amount towards your down payment. The third point that I'd like to share with you is obviously to reduce your debt. This is obvious, we all know that. One of the debts that is circulating amongst the millennials right now is student loans. And the more we can put away the debt, the more money we have towards putting towards the down payment. Now, one of the things that is really holding us back as millennials is the fact that we all believe that we have to go to college, we have to take student loans and fund our education. But we need to remember that there's a price for this education. It's not going to be free. And I wish that a lot of parents would understand that and educate their child or their children before making a choice of school or choosing a career path. The fourth point is this. If you're unable to live with your parents, or if you're unable to have a roommate because, for example, you're living with your girlfriend, or you're married and you have your wife and you have kids, you might not be able to have a roommate in the house. Okay, but one thing that you can always do is to rent a place. Now, make sure where you're renting is actually a lot cheaper for you. Now, I'm not saying you should go live in a place that you'll be scared of leaving your house or coming into your house. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're going to be renting, make sure that the amount you're paying towards your rent is saving you money. And this is the key point. You have to make sure you're saving money by renting. The amount of money you're saving, you want to make sure that you're putting most of it towards the down payment. It is very important that you keep that in mind, because if you rent for so long and you fail to save while you're renting a cheap place, then you have wasted time and you've wasted all the resources that you could have used to put towards down payment. The fifth point I would like to share with you is about car loans. All right. Remember, a car is generally a depreciating asset. If you end up having an expensive car, the problem that this would cause you is that you'll be paying so much towards this car that you won't be able to maximize the amount of money that you could put towards a down payment. This is very important. A lot of people, because they're done with their bachelor's or they graduate from college, they want to buy the latest car to feel like they've achieved something significant. I'm sorry to break it to you. Just having a bachelor's degree is nothing. What you do with that certificate is up to you, and that is the next step. But just because you've graduated doesn't mean that you deserve to go buy the latest car or the latest gadgets and all these things. Now, it is important to remember that, hey, if you have all the money to spend, that is different, but we're talking about people that are on a budget. Next point is about getting a different job. See, we all know it. When we start our first job, it's generally just we get into any form of occupation or any form of career that will just pay us something so that we can start paying off our debt, pay off our car loans, pay off our credit card debt. We just want to make some money. Unfortunately, this could tie us into what they call a rat race. The goal here is to get experience and move to the next job. So as soon as you start getting the experience, you should start planning your next move on to a better place that pays you more. That is one of the ways that you can make more money and therefore put more money down for down payment. Talking about second jobs, a lot of people can also have a side gig like driving Lyft, driving for Uber. Those are options that you have that you could use to make some extra money. If you have an extra space in your house, maybe you can do Airbnb. If you could work online, maybe you could start a Shopify account to sell online. The point is, find a way to make some extra money. Maybe YouTube. You just have to find a second way of making extra money so that you can put more money towards your down payment. My next point, and this is not necessarily about making more money, but it's about how the money is used. And this is about automating your transfers to your savings account for your down payment of the house. It is very crucial that we automate the transfers. If we try to do it by ourselves, there will be months when things will be tight. There will be months when we might forget, we're too busy. But one key thing is, if it's automated, we already know that a certain amount is going to be removed from our checking account into our savings account towards the down payment. And once we know that, it's going to feel like it's a bill that we have to pay. Just like how you have to pay your rent, or you have to pay your light bill, your phone bill, it's the same thing. If you know that you have this amount to be paid towards your down payment to save, you will work with it. You already know you set it up, you generally work with it. But if you do not automate it, there's a chance that you will always have this inconsistent savings that will lead to failure, because it's so inconsistent that some months is high, some months are low, some months you forget to do it, and that's how you will lose the focus to save for the down payment. According to the NAR, which is National Association of Realtors, the US currently has a student debt load of $1.4 trillion, which accounts for 10% of all outstanding debt and 35% of non-housing debt. The magnitude of the debt continues to grow in size and share of the overall debt in the economy. And this is why it's very important that as a millennial, we need to really be mindful of our debt. We cannot keep going in this direction, otherwise we won't be able to afford the dream that we have worked hard for. I hope you found this video educational, as the aim of my channel is to educate you through some of the real life experiences that I come across as a real estate agent. Please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you next time.